Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. The dramas of streaming, that is just what it's all about, unfortunately. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I hope we've adjusted a few things for you so you are able to hear me, you are able to see me. This is what happens when you do it on a camera. You got the lights, you got the mics, you got the Ethernet cable, you got all the USB connections. My room is a minefield of wires, basically. So let's get on with it. I hope the connection is all right. It seems absolutely perfectly well. And I hope you guys obviously doing fantastically well. Make sure you check out Ship Bikes USA and, of course, manscape.com. Great to see the tech is working better now. A few of you in the comments, thank you so much for your continued support and just waiting on me. Obviously, been a bit of a newish YouTuber, this sort of stuff. It takes a while sometimes. But yeah, hope you're all doing really well anyway. You're here for one thing and one thing only. You are back here. You're back here for the rumours, which is good. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're talking about Llorente anyway. So Diego Llorente, I nearly said Fernando Llorente then, but we are back here with the Llorente news, which is, listen, it's great. The fact that we've signed a player. Allegedly, he's going to be a centre back. Oh, well, he is going to be a centre-back. What do you mean, Connor? He's allegedly going to be a centre-back. What I mean by that is I don't know whether or not he's going to be starting in this Leeds United setup. But what a lot of people seem to be getting confused is the fact that we should be getting £5, £6, £7 million backups. Guys, we're not in that league anymore. You look at even Fulham at the weekend, the amount of money they had on the bench. You know, they're a promoted side. Obviously, they had parachute payments years gone by. But, you know, it's so much better in terms of getting players in and actually having quality on the bench. Leeds United do not have, for me, a lot of quality on the bench when it comes to Premier League status. So when someone like Diego Llorente is coming in, we need to look at it in terms of Premier League value. Diego Llorente, what sort of player is he? Well, he's a centre-back. He's a seasoned vet. He's someone who Bielsa wanted at Lazio, which we'll get onto in a second, 27 years of age, and he has experience at the top level, which is something that Leeds United need. It's something that Leeds United want. And it's clear to see that Marcelo Bielsa, interestingly, after Sunday, him and Victor Orta have evidently got in contact with Real Sociedad. I've seen a lot of reports saying, you know, that was after Sunday. So I don't know what's happened there. Do Leeds feel that there's not a lot of depth there? But it's not a case of Leeds getting in contact with this club months ago. This is a case of Leeds getting in contact with this guy and this club a week ago, or on Sunday, not even a week ago. So Leeds clearly see that as a position that we need to improve in. Very interesting when it comes to what Marcelo Bielsa sees this squad. Does he want Llorente at the back? Does he want to see Robin at the back as a partnership? Does he want Cooper on the bench? Does he want Struijk on the bench as backup? Or does he want something else? Who knows? But it means we can vary the formation into a 3-3-1-3. It gives Leeds a lot of options. And the quality off the bench, you know, you look at Sheffield United, Ollie McBurney on the bench, for 20 million? They've got Lys Mousset coming off the bench as well. This is the levels, guys. We can't be getting players in for 4 to 5, 6 million off the bench. That's not the level we're at anymore. We're not championship level. Players off the bench need to be 15, 20 million pounds worth. That's the realism now. That's the market we're looking at. It cannot be Leeds United are going in for, you know, whoever player in the championship as backup. Someone like, I know this is complete disrespect, and I'm sure it would be great in terms of development and potential. But someone like Ben Cabango, you know, at Swansea, we looked at Ben Cabango at Swansea, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, okay, we'll bring him in, but that's only going to cost Leeds what, sort of 8, 9, 10 million, and it's a kid from Swansea. You know, we need to be getting experience at the top division, and that is what all the clubs in the Premier League do. Leeds need to match that. I do think when we're looking on the bench now, we've got a lot of brilliant players who we've got a lot of sentiment towards. Of course we have, because they've been excellent for Leeds. But we're not going to stay up with sentiment. We are not going to stay up with sentiment. And the be-all and end-all right now for Leeds United is to stay in this division. There's people talking about mid-table. There's people talking about Europe. The foundation for Leeds United right now is to stay 17th and beat Manchester United. That is it. You know? But what I'm saying is, guys, you know, we need to sort of measure our expectations. We can't have sort of £4 or £5 million players, you know, Leeds going out and buying these and buying these and buying these. They need to be expensive players who have got reputation, who've got pedigree at the top level. So for me, that's just how it is. Russ Vernon, loving your content, Connor. Thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's get on to something more about Llorente. So Diego Llorente is a very athletic centre-back. This is obviously by Guillem Balaguer as well, guys. So he's basically just talking about Diego. Diego Llorente is a very athletic centre-back who's played full-back and CM. Very interesting there, the fact that he's played centre midfield. Obviously, we've seen Robin play centre midfield as well. not only do we need sort of squad depth, but we need versatility in multiple positions so Leeds United can cater that whenever we need to. But obviously the quality with his feet struggled a bit as he played left of a 2 centre-back this season and a muscle problem in January, but he is a top player, fantastic with long passing and comfortable with short. Balaguer went on to claim that Llorente is great in set-piece situations, both defending and attacking, an area that the Whites have really struggled since Marcelo Bielsa arrived. And that is it, guys, isn't it? Where do we struggle? We are, I wouldn't say awful, but we are not good at set pieces. You know, you look at Sheffield United this weekend, where is Sheffield United going to be targeting? It's going to be set pieces. Why? Because Leeds can be serially weak from set pieces, you know, and we've seen that so far this season as well. We're shipping goals from set pieces. We need to counteract that problem ASAP. Absolutely ASAP, because we don't want to be losing silly goals from set pieces. Someone like Llorente comes in, he's got an excellent aerial duel percentage. I think it's something like 75-80% of duels he wins. He's a monster in the air, scores from set pieces as well, which is a massive advantage. That's what we see with someone like Robin and Llorente coming in, the fact that we have danger from set pieces. We saw that brilliant Robin header against Fulham, which was tipped over by Areola, which nearly was his first goal for the club from a set piece situation. So it's something that Marcelo Bielsa is clearly targeting. It's something that Leeds need to target to get joy in this division, because a lot of people say about the Premier League, it's not physical. It's an extremely physical league, because the prowess of each and every player is so much higher, because not is it just big brutes like we see in the Championship sometimes, but these players are physical and they're athletic. Athletic being the key word. They are very, very strong. They don't need to be 14, 15 stone. They're 12 stone of pure muscle. They can jump. They can physically win battles. You know, someone who I absolutely admire with that is someone like Yuri Tielemans at Leicester. Looks like a slight player, but he's strong as an ox. Very good in the air, very good on the floor as well. But physicality and athleticism-wise, he's absolutely brilliant. And players like that, who you wouldn't expect to be, really, really are. You know, I hark back to Moussa Dembele back at the Tottenham days in centre midfield. People probably wouldn't see him as a strong player. You know, in the Championship, he might get eaten up. I know it sounds daft, but that is a comparative. But he was absolutely brilliant and a strong player. This division really is a step up at all levels. So, yeah, really interesting in terms of Diego Llorente. Moving on, guys, as well. So I've titled this James and Dembele. So transfer rumours, Dembele, Sancho, Ali, Aarons, Lingard, Milik. Manchester United are in talks to sign forward Ousmane Dembele, 23 from Barcelona. Now, this has been doing the rounds. The reason I want to bring this up as well is because Manchester United came out yesterday and has said, essentially, in the Manchester Evening News, they do not have any intentions of selling Dan James. But the difference is, if they get another winger, that's the priority this window. Someone like Sancho, someone like Ousmane Dembele. If they get someone like that in, there's going to be no room for Dan James. Dan James will not be getting ahead of what 2 or 3 players they have in that similar position. So that's not going to happen. So Ousmane Dembele, Sancho is a target. Our target's Manchester United. So if they get those underway, I am certain that we get Dan James 100%. Manchester United might be sticking now, but when it comes to the fact of signing maybe a Jadon Sancho and Ousmane Dembele, Manchester United are going to have no credence for me by sending him out on loan or with a permanent signing for Leeds. Let's hope not, says Martin. I presume that's to do with Dan James. Daniel James isn't great anyway, says Careza. I completely disagree with that, hence why he was Marcelo Bielsa's #1 target when he came into the club. But as well, guys, what I want to talk about targets is we'll just hark back to Diego Llorente for just 1 second. The reason I want to mention that is because I saw something this morning on social media which was absolutely brilliant. Diego Llorente was one of Marcelo Bielsa's first 7 targets that he gave to the board at Lazio. Lazio rejected a number of these targets, including Diego Llorente, which meant that Marcelo Bielsa obviously subsequently left the club about 2 or 3 days later because they weren't able to meet his targets. Now, what I find absolutely fascinating about that is Llorente was one of his targets that Lazio didn't get through the door. So this is a guy who Bielsa has tracked for many, many years. And like we consistently say here on the Rumour Mill, if Bielsa wants him, why are we going to doubt that? You know, what can you doubt about that? You know, saying a player is rubbish, saying a player is rubbish. Well, okay, well, at the start of Bielsa's tenure, would you have said Dallas was rubbish? Would you have said Phillips was rubbish? Would you have said Ayling was rubbish? Would you have said Bamford was rubbish? The list goes on. So players like Daniel James, players like Diego Llorente, even if Diego Llorente is a seasoned vet right now, we get him in. He's going to be better You know, he doesn't read the high line that well, apparently. That's one of his criticisms. But Bielsa will sort of modify that. Of course he will. Otherwise, we wouldn't be going for him for that sort of price. And he's on that tier list, that top 5 for a centre-back, which Leeds have in every single transfer they make. Dan James, I mean, like we just said here, Dan James was one of the first targets Bielsa had. And Dan James fits our system perfectly. He's a winger. He's dynamic. He's quick. Leeds play out wide a hell of a lot. That's why we didn't see Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson do well against Leeds, because Leeds counteracted them with the wing press. And we're just fantastic out wide, and we need depth. As I said at the start of the programme, depth is absolutely pivotal with Leeds United, because we don't have enough 15 to 20 million players coming off the bench. And you might think, Connie, you're mad. We're not going to have these players. But we need players like that, because that's the step up in quality, the step up in physicality, the step up in athleticism, the step up in just everything in the Premier League. You can't get by with just three £4 million players on the bench. It just doesn't work like that. You know, you'll get eaten up and spat out. It's just how the Premier League works. It's a complete step up all the time. So, very, very interesting. So, moving on anyway, there's been rumours here with Milik as well at Napoli. Fulham and Leeds United have also joined the race for the signature of Newcastle United and Tottenham Hotspur target Milik. It has been claimed in Italy. So that's another exciting signing potentially. Milik obviously playing in the Champions League, played for his national side, very, very good. Very good in the air as well. A tall cam, someone who can play along the front 4 as well. Napoli have played in a 4-2-3-1 formation, so anywhere along the 4, Milik can play. Once again, that key word we always say on this programme, versatility, and that's what Bielsa looks for. That's what he harks for. That's what Victor Orta's whole manual is. Go get me a player of this ilk. And that's what he comes back with. And someone like Milik, for me, would be an achievable target. Napoli potentially getting higher caliber of play, not higher caliber. That's the wrong sort of, that's the wrong way of putting it. But Napoli are apparently interested in a few CAMs, which I've seen online this morning. So they're looking to bolster their attacking options potentially. But obviously, with this being a Leeds United based show, we know that Leeds United need to get someone in that cam role. Could we get someone across the front 4? Are we getting a proven player? Are we getting a player that's potentially going to be above 20 million in all those things? Yes, 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 yes. So Leeds, for me, need to be looking at that step-up option. We need to be looking at depth on the bench or depth in that first team for me, as I keep saying to you guys. And someone like Milik would fit that mould absolutely perfectly well. A brilliant, brilliant player. Let's have a look at the next rumour as well. Now, this is an interesting one. I'm sure a lot of you will just say, relax, Connor, give up. But Leeds United, there is a £20 million release clause for Ryan Kent that has apparently just been released within the last few days, or to the press, or whatever it may be. But it has been reported in the Scottish Mail today. Leeds United chase Kent or Manchester United winger, as we know that is Daniel James. Leeds United remain keen on the Rangers star Ryan Kent. According to a report, the winger has a £20 million release clause, but it is a value the Premier League side are unlikely to meet. However, they're still expected to put an increased bid from their first offer of £10 million for Ryan Kent. The next option is Dan James. So that's interesting how that is still being talked about by the Scottish press. Whether or not they've got connections up there, you would presume so. Leeds clearly still interested in Ryan Kent. Obviously, we've only put one offer in as of yet, but we explore our options. As I consistently say, once again on this channel, we have 5 options for every position. Ryan Kent is clearly one of those options for either a cam or a right winger, or both combined. So exciting news once again that potentially Ryan Kent could be on the cards. Obviously, Steven Gerrard's come out and ruled it. He's ruled it out. But it's not up to Steven Gerrard. Leeds hit that transfer release clause. It ain't up to Steven Gerrard. Whether obviously the player power, does Ryan Kent really want to leave Rangers? He's coming out, he's saying all the right things in the press. He's had a brilliant start at Rangers, but we know money talks, and we'll have to wait and see. He's committed his future to Rangers, but I mean, if we put £20 million in for him, the lure of Leeds United, he'll have seen us play against Liverpool. Obviously, the club that he was, his parent club. Will that have influenced him? Does he want to play under an exciting, a pragmatic, a dynamic coach in Marcelo Bielsa? No disrespect to Steven Gerrard, but I probably would. I don't know if Kent will. We'll have to wait and see with that one. But money talks. Money always talks. And, he's coming out and saying all the right things. But if Leeds put 20 million in for him, is he going to accept to come to Leeds United? Who knows? But yeah, it's interesting. What do you guys say on that one? Not worth £20 million, but a good player. Kent doesn't want to come, says Alan Bell. Buendia would be awesome, says ST. So yeah, interesting. A couple of reactions from you guys as well. There's another one here now. Leeds United target, apparently João Mario will be available on a permanent deal this summer with no possibility of a loan move, according to Record. The report claims that the Whites are interested in signing the Inter Milan midfielder and have made contact over a potential deal this week. Now, as we've seen with Llorente, as we saw with Rodrigo, as we saw with Ben White back in the day, Leeds make deals that you just do not expect. It's not hot off the press. At the start of this week, what we're talking about Rodrigo de Paul. We're talking about, Milanovsky. We're talking about all these players that have been, on the record. They have been out there by the press. But we didn't hear anything about Diego Llorente. We had no idea. We had no idea initially of Rodrigo. That was completely out of the blue. So what I love about Leeds is it's just completely out of the blue. It's not someone who we expect. And a lot of the time, it's players of serious caliber as well. So obviously, with harking back to, Llorente, Rodrigo, obviously Robin was out of the blue a little bit as well. So all these players are internationals as well, which is great to see. Obviously, Llorente is going to be coming in. He's a Spanish speaker, which is key in this Leeds United side with all the Spanish influence. But these players are completely out of the blue. Someone like João Mario, is that going to be a serious link? Obviously, we normally get Phil to confirm it. But I mean, imagine someone like him coming in, a Portuguese international, winner of many things, Inter Milan, top level. And this is what I keep saying, top level, not championship level. Nah, sorry, no, top level. This is what we're aiming for now. And, if we're looking at that Wolves blueprint that Radrazani spoke so nicely of in pre-season, it's that level, and someone like João Mario, I mean, he'll be on big wages, but are Leeds going to accommodate that? That's my question. Will we accommodate that if the player that we're getting in is of such a high caliber? Would we accommodate the wage structure? I mean, you've got to weigh up the risk and reward. We're not going through another Ridsdale era, guys. I keep hearing people say, we spend too much money, we're going for a Ridsdale. Okay, well, what's the alternative? Because for me, this squad right now is brilliant. I love this squad right now, but it needs additions for the full Premier League seasons. It needs additions for the cup competitions included in the Premier League campaign. We don't know about Robin's injury record. We don't know if Liam's going to be out again. Liam does consistently get injured throughout the season. Who knows? Naturally, there's been a lot of talk about Jordan Lukaku. We don't have a natural left back, which in the Premier League, because of the pace, obviously, as I always talk about, the pragmatism of the wingers, someone like, Martial or Greenwood or Zaha or Sterling, all of these players, if you've not got a left-sided left back, they're going to completely play on that. And that's going to be a target for all these top clubs, Adama Traore. So do we need a fully fledged left back, that all the clubs in the Premier League have? It's a topic of debate. I'm putting it out there. I'm playing devil's advocate a lot of the time here. I'm not saying I want this. I'm playing devil's advocate, but the quality has to step up. And that's the message on this room mill. Just because you see it a lot online of people coming out and saying, no, we don't need to spend that money on players. Put it all into DePaul and let's get £2 or £3 million on so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. It's an interesting topic of debate for me. Let's have a look what some of you guys are saying. Rodrigo will play number 10, I reckon. Paul Swales says, worrying spending lots of money with no sign of fans allowed in grounds. And after government COVID briefing, loss of income could bite us. Yeah, I mean, the COVID thing is, we don't know, do we? I mean, they reckon there's going to be another spike. I think it's gone from the rate of 1 to 1.2, which is seriously dangerous. This is a room mill, but I encourage all of you to go watch a David Attenborough documentary called Extinction. Terrifying. But anyway, back onto football. But it does link very nicely to financial problems with clubs, economic crisis. The whole COVID thing links in. And as Paul says there, it can impact on how much money a club has to use in the window. So it does. So there is an impact. There is a bit of a chain there. But the next one is Jose Campana, obviously. Now, Super Deporte were reporting this morning. Now, if you do remember on the room mill, we were talking about Jose Campana, obviously ex-Arsenal, but now plays for Levante. And there's a lot of money being issued for Jose Campana. They reckon it's going to be quite a sizable fee, but at the same time, he has got a lot of experience. I believe he's sort of 27 to 28 years old, Llorente's age, good in the midfield, a controller of the midfield as well. Very good, once again, versatility, very good on the ball. So, yeah, that's really exciting for me. Someone like Jose Campana, but the stickler is going to be the fee for me. I mean, they're talking 25, 30 million. I mean, that's what they were talking about sort of a while ago as well, for someone who's sort of, I don't know. He's maybe not. It's not worked in the Premier League before at Arsenal, but obviously he's made his name at Levante. Made a lot of appearances for Levante, but I don't know on that one. I probably would rather go for someone else. But Jose Campana, massive name, huge name. But yeah, and we'll move on from this one. But obviously, another Celtic link here, or a Scottish link. Celtic link with a move for Barry Douglas. Celtic are reportedly interested in signing Leeds United defender Barry Douglas this summer. According to Celtic legend Frank McAvenue, the Scottish champions are keen on signing the 31-year-old before the window closes. Now, obviously, I presume this is a Celtic legend who is involved within the Celtic, obviously. You know, we have a few legends included with Leeds United as well. But that's interesting. We've obviously seen Barry Douglas in Scotland this week as well. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's back with his family, you know, which I think he was, to be fair. But it's really interesting at this moment in time. Obviously, he's decided to go back to Scotland. He's not featured at all, really, for Leeds, really, has he? In his tenure at Ellen Road, he's been hampered with injuries. And I'd be really sad to see him go, Barry Douglas. He was part of the team that got promoted again, as he was with Wolves. Hasn't once again had a fair crack, really, at the Premier League. Obviously, Stuart Dallas, our right-sided left-back's had a crack, and he's been brilliant, and he deserves that left-back spot. But it's been a real shame for Barry Douglas. He's never really been able to get into this Leeds United side, has he? His experience has been absolutely vital for me in getting over the line. You know, you look at last year, a lot of people won't have been talking about Barry Douglas, but for me, he'd have had a massive influence on the changing room, along with Adam Forshaw, players who've tasted Championship promotion before. And it is a real shame for me, because I was so excited when Barry Douglas came in. 3 million, what a steal. Somebody who's got so many assists, so many goals at Leeds United. But if we're being real, it's probably not worked for him at Leeds. And would I be sad to see him go? Yeah. Genuinely, I would, because I feel I really do like Barry Douglas. And once again, he's maybe not been great coming off the bench, but I feel as a replacement left back in terms of starting, I think Barry Douglas does a good job, and he is quality off the bench. And when you're looking at someone like Celtic, who are interested in him, I mean, clearly he's still got that pedigree. Clearly he still can work at that level. You know, there's been talk as well about him being that idyllic replacement for Kieran Tierney altogether. Obviously, they've not properly replaced Kieran Tierney for me, Celtic. But someone like Barry Douglas coming in, you know, is he a Celtic supporter? I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be a massive attraction for him, obviously, with him being Scottish himself. But that would be a real shame for me. Letting someone, I still think he's got calibre. I do, for me. I still think he's got character, and I think he'd be really great in this Leeds United just set up for this Premier League campaign. So that's going to be a shame. Douglas is a great player. So another comment here saying Alan Richardson need Jordan Lukaku if Douglas goes. Matthew saying he's a Rangers fan. Interesting. But yeah, who knows? Lukaku would be good, but there's a lot of talk about Jordan Lukaku. I think Lukaku would be a brilliant signing, and once again, then you're getting some serious class in that left back position. You'll all hate me because it's the Stuart Dallas thing. I'm not throwing him out at all, but I would like to see some real intense competition there. Because we're a Premier League outfit now. You know, we're a Premier League outfit. We need to be ruthless, and Dallas I would not take out, but Jordan Lukaku as sort of competition. I mean, wow, he's going to push Dallas to be an even better player for me. So yeah, guys, that really is it on the rumour mill. I'm not gonna sort of talk about DePaul because I'm sort of getting bored of it now. Malinovsky is the player that we are looking at apparently at Atalanta. Had a great campaign last year, and there was a sort of a graphic done on him and DePaul as sort of a comparative, and Malinovsky looks like the player. Allegedly, he doesn't start every single week as well for Atalanta. Big plus for Leeds. We'd be able to get him for a cheaper price. And Mike McGrath, obviously I talk about him consistently on here, a very good reporter, reliable and credible, says that he is an alternative to DePaul. So we'll get Malinovsky. I'd be absolutely buzzing with that. Go check him out if you haven't already. An excellent player, and arguably better than Rodrigo DePaul. So guys, there's 606 of you watching now. I've never had those numbers. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel. If you've joined late, like I know a lot of you have, you can go back and rewatch this video. So rewatch it. There was a lot of things that we were talking about at the start if you've missed it. So please go back, check it. Make sure you like the video as well, guys. I hope you're enjoying the continued content, the daily content now, which has been going on for 2.5 months. I've been uploading every single day. So there's a lot of graft, there's a lot of effort in as well. For some of you who were here at the start, the stream went down. So that's the graft and the effort we have to deal with. Well, I have to deal with every single day. I will be featuring on Benjamin Bloom's channel later on. We're doing a joint stream. So I hope you guys will come join me on that journey. A lot of people have been asking for a collab between me and Benjamin again. So we're doing it live on his channel. So make sure you are there at 7 o'clock. Guys, have a lovely day. Have a cracking one, and make sure you like and comment and subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.